So now we are going to apply motion to the fin and the tail so you can have an idea about how you can apply motion to any type of moving part you want to have added to a character. So in our case, we're using a fish. So what I like to do is go ahead on the body layer, and we'll draw that out to 60 frames. You can go all the way to 100 or however long you want your animation. This is 4.9 seconds. So now we have our body layer, and I'm going to draw the eye also out to 60. Right clicking on our frame and then click insert frame. So this gives me a nice reference. Now I'm not going to have the body or the iris move, so I can extend that for as long as I want. The fin and the tail will move. So what I'll do is go to frame 19 and insert a frame. Now I went to 19 so I can copy and paste my motion repeatedly after I make it move on an initial loop. So right now if I play this, nothing's going to happen because we haven't done any motion yet. But what I'll do now is at frame 5, you could choose any frame you want. I'm just choosing 5 for this example. Before we do so, we have to again make a motion tween. And we know from a few videos back, we click OK, convert to a symbol. So at frame 1, my tail is right here. At frame 5, I'm going to rotate the tail. Command T, I'm using a Mac, Command T opens up my transform, and we're just going to use the rotation, the rotate button here. I'm going to make mine go up 5 degrees, and I'll push enter. So you see it barely moved, so maybe for this example we'll exaggerate it, we'll make it 10 degrees. Now at frame 10, I'll do the same thing, Command T, and I'll bring it back to 0 degrees so it returns to its original position. Now at frame 15, I'll bring it down to -10. And then at frame 19, right before it would get back to 20, I'm going to put this at -1. Now the reason I did -1 instead of 0 is because I'm going to copy this and just paste it through the end of the video. So I didn't want to have 2 frames of 0 in a row because you'd notice a slight stillness in the motion. So if this is -1, and then when it gets to this frame, it'll be back to 0. So let me run this on a loop. Turn loop on, turn loop off with this squarish shaped arrow. I can play that, and you can see that the tail is going back and forth. Now I have to do the same thing for my fin and the eye. Now there's one thing I wanted to point out to you. The transform, free transform, allows you to set your anchor point. So I want my anchor point to be right at the base of the tail where it connects to the body. This is the pivot point. So now when I play this again, you'll see that the tail pivots at the joint with the body, so it looks a lot better than it did before. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my fin.